Welcome to the Marketing Lifeline's 10 minutes of marketing. I'm going to take you through 10 of the most common questions we get asked, and I thought I'd pop them into a short little video for you to enjoy, and at the same time, perhaps you can also learn from them. Question number one: how do I know if there is a market for my product or service? This is the time where you probably need to do a little bit of research to see how many people are offering the same product or service in the market. What is it that they're doing? What are you planning to do? It's also not a bad time to potentially ask a customer that you think may be your prospect customer going forward what it is that they need, or what is it that they would like. Is it something they'd be interested in? I'd highly recommend you just spend a little bit of time doing some basic research, and never ask your friends or family around the braai or barbecue on a weekend, because these are generally not your target markets and they'd probably just laugh it off as a bad idea. So rather do your proper research to determine if there's a market for your product. Number two, how can I stand out in a highly competitive market? Absolutely, you can create an amazing brand and logo, but it's more important than just this. This is where you really need to take the time to understand your target market and what it is they need and what it is you can do for them better than your closest competitor. This is where we talk about the unique value proposition, what it is that you do that your competitor doesn't do for your customer. So it's always possible to launch into a competitive space, but just remember not to come in as another me too, but rather to stand out with a unique value proposition. How do I know who my target market is? Great question, because not everybody is your customer as much as we would really like everyone to be, right? So really identifying your target market is a key part of your marketing plan. And once you've identified what your product or service is, you know there's a need for it, you've identified your unique value proposition, this is a time for you to say, okay, who are you going to pinpoint as your target market, and really seeing what it is that they need and how you can help them. So rather going for someone that really needs your product, rather than trying to create an offering for somebody that you think needs your service, rather create a product or service that people will want. So it is important for you to define your target audience, and the smaller your target audience, the better for you, because not everybody is your customer. Number four, how should I package my product or offering? I feel that this question isn't asked enough, because everyone just assumes they come up with a great product or service that they can take to market now that they've recognized their target markets and they've got this unique value proposition. But actually, have we thought about the fact that does everyone want the product or service in this basic form, as I suggest, as I like to say, because that's what it is. Have you been innovative in terms of, is there a guarantee you can add to your product? What are your upsells? How can you bundle your product? Is there a way you can collaborate with someone similar in your industry? For example, if you're real estate, potentially collaborating with a conveyancing attorney. Driving value to your customer is far greater than just trying to throw one product or service at them. So definitely a good question. How can you package your product? It's not just about what you've got and the physical packaging, but potentially how you can look at their pain point, what it is they really need, and maybe they need something else that you may offer or may not offer, and add that in, even if it's just a value that you bring. Like I said, if it's a guarantee, that is something you can add to your offering. Number five, what must my advertising say? Please don't say everything that everyone else does. Get free, more. I mean, these are great words and possibly used in sales campaigns. But for me, it's more about really understanding our customer, what it is that they're really wanting your product for, what problem are you solving, and then driving benefits to the specific customer through relevant content. So if you've identified you sell mugs, you've identified you want to pitch it at people that are getting married, that bride may want to use them as a favor. So rather getting into the emotional benefit understanding that rather than pitching up the product and just like everyone else says, we sell mugs. So what? And who cares? Why will somebody want to buy from you? So it's very important that you take time to also understand your relevant messaging and try and stick to key messaging. Don't just say a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of everything. Again, driven back to target audience, who's your target market, what it is they want, understand the benefits to them, and create content to drive benefits. Question number 6. What types of marketing can small business owners benefit from? Everyone always speaks about social media, but what else is there to consider? Well, everyone talks about social media because it is probably the most affordable and very effective, as everyone is on their phone all day. But yes, there is more to advertising your business other than social media. You can look at any touch points, starting from your very own offices. If you have customers coming through to your offices or your medical practices, what is the experience? How are your customers seeing you at that point? How can you make their experience better? Email campaigns. Emails are not dead. They're more alive than ever, but you've got to be good by driving value to your customers. Don't sell to them. And you can do these monthly or weekly, so using touch points such as emails or newsletters, driving home value. You can even look at face-to-face events or exhibitions post-COVID, getting in the face again of your prospective customers. So yes, there are more ways of engaging and getting out there than just social media. But whichever one you choose, I always say do it well and do it consistently. Continue to drive value and then you will see the results. Number 7, how often do I need to advertise and how much do I need to spend? Well, there is no right or wrong. I just say as often as you can and as much as you can afford. But I do have a 5% rule, which I suggest. So 5% of your annual turnover should be spent on marketing. Take your turnover for the year, times it by 5%, divide it by 12, it will give you an average monthly marketing spend. This is a suggestion. You may need to spend more, you may need to spend less. Generally, newer businesses need to spend a little bit more. Again, if your product or service is quite niche, you probably need to spend quite a bit more. And if it's a more popular product, you may, or even sometimes have to spend more, but generally less. So it's all a bit of an exploration. You're going to have to test, measure, and see what works. But again, you can only afford as much as you can, and you can only do it as often as you can, unless you have extra resources to help you. Number 8, with social media platforms available and being so popular, do I really need a website? Absolutely yes, yes, and yes. Social media platforms don't contain the search functions that a website will give you. Websites can be optimized. Websites can be the home to all your fabulous products, whether it's an e-commerce site, whether it's downloads, videos. I like to think of your website as your home. It's where all your IP sits and where all your good things sit and the good food. And you bring people into your home through different doors or channels. And that's why I say all your social media out there and email campaigns or whatever it is that you're doing, all your advertising and marketing needs to speak and drive people to your website. So yes, a website is absolutely essential, but yes, make sure your website is also effective and not just static. Number 9, how do I know if I'm doing the right thing and if it is working? Test and measure. That's the only thing we can do. Are you getting more likes? Have you got more leads? Are you getting inquiries? You've just got to test and measure. With the free tools we have on social media, the insights, Google Analytics that we have for our websites, we are able to see the type of activity, whether it has improved or not. If you see an upward trend, great, you're doing a good job. If not so much, then just reconsider, relook, review, and change it up a little bit. Great thing about digital is we are able to do so, but however, we need to look at it more regularly. So I definitely suggest you look at your marketing monthly. At a minimum, some look at it weekly, but I would say at a minimum monthly. See how you are doing, review your results, make changes as necessary. Perhaps every quarter you can review, and then again at a later stage. So lastly, number 10, how often should I revisit my marketing strategy? absolutely, definitely every year. Although, as I've just mentioned to you, to review your advertising and activities monthly, you should review your marketing strategy at least every annum. Things are changing far too quickly. Target audiences are changing, products are changing, needs are changing, things are changing. And you could be missing out on great opportunities if you don't really relook your marketing strategy. This is a time for you to take a step back, review the market, where it's at, where it's going. What is it that people really want, and who wants your product more than ever before? And this may be your entry into another new world of opportunity. So definitely every year, at least review your marketing strategy and where you're going, supported by a month-to-month evaluation of your marketing activities. I do hope that these 10 questions and answers did give you some great insights and value. And if you do have any more questions, please feel free to pop onto the website www.themarketinglifeline.com and go to the Get in Touch page and jot down your question, and we will get back to you or perhaps share it on our next video. Thanks for your time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.